My name is Grayson Wade. It's at RedDevil944 on Instagram. Instagram is really the only place that I post anything or do anything. So that's about it. I drive a 1986 Porsche 944 Turbo. Current build and concept is to basically be a track car that is nice enough to also take to shows and show off, and then go track on the weekend with no problem at all. Drive home in comfort. Some aftermarket three-piece wheels, cage and bucket seats, except for under the hood. I've got a brand new Raptor X turbo built by Evergreen Turbos in Florida. And that is paired up to a full Lindsay Racing 3-inch exhaust, which has been now custom fabricated by J&M. Supporting that is a 3-bar fuel pressure regulator to let more fuel in. It has a Nology ignition booster, a Lindsay Racing dual port wastegate. This was a club spec car. It was raced pretty much half of its life from the early 2000s till now. Almost all of the owners from the late 90s onwards have tracked it either as a main car or as a weekend car. Other than an award for best classic car at a small car show, I haven't won any awards since I've owned the car. But I've heard that in its past life, it's gotten a few podium finishes on the track. Yes, just around or below 2,900 pounds. Yes, it's still using OEM Porsche part. What, 3.5 years, something like that, or 4 years? The car community right now, that's a loaded question. Honestly, I do see it a good bit how willing to help a lot of people are. There's a really strong information network between people. It's not uncommon if you say post on Instagram saying, "Hey, I need help with this. I need this part. I need whatever." Somebody will most likely respond or help out, and I think that is great. It seems very exclusive from an outside point of view, but once you kind of get into it, it seems fairly inclusive. I started hanging out with the people that are in Speedgate. I started going to the meets, and it just felt to me like, compared to anything else I had seen, it felt like a true family of people that just love what they do, love their cars, and sharing that love with the community, and that really drew me in. And I was like, I want to be a part of that. I want to be with that. I do wish that there was a bit more, or a bit less harsh judging, hateful judging versus constructive criticism. Um, I find a lot there's just people that will just be vicious towards other people if um, they don't like the same car as them, if they don't particularly like the type of build, and I think that's kind of something that needs to be drawn back a little bit. My favorite car of all time, the one at the very top that I would, if I was given the opportunity, 1969 Mustang GT500. I like driving it and also showing, letting other people either drive it or other people ride in it. That's probably one of my favorite things that I can think of. End goal with the car. End goal would be to turn it into a full-on track car that looks good enough to where I can win awards at shows. That means full wide body, custom three-piece wheels, fully built out engine, like completely overhauled to where basically the only original part would be the frame and the body, like the chassis itself. It was my first car. I got it when I was going into high school, and it has been with me through thick and thin, through the low points of my life, and it has never let me down. Even though we've had our tough times together, it's still been right by me. More updated suspension, bigger intercooler, bigger radiator, MAF conversion, um, standalone or piggyback ECU. I guess it'd be less of what led me to the car, more so what led me back to it. Um, I have since getting the Porsche as my first car, I've had a 2005 350Z, um, which was going to be a drift missile, but that kind of I started to realize the cost of that, and it wasn't very efficient, and I realized that I'd rather just put the money into the Porsche. And then I had I believe it was a 91 RX-7 Turbo 2. That was also full drift spec. Uh, it had the high angle steering knuckles, um, and Greddy turbo kit, but that car kind of fell apart when I started to get low compression numbers on one of the rotors, and I realized that I once again rather just put the money into the Porsche and keep that running well. Well, according to the Woodstock Police Department, 101 is the fastest I've gone. But uh, I'd say that 0 to 60, I don't have a definite time. Stock, 5.9 seconds. I'm probably somewhere in the 4 second range. If yeah, 4 seconds in that range sounds about right. Probably be even lower if I can hold traction. Um, and then top speed that I've gone personally is 140 miles per hour. Um, top speed the car is capable of is somewhere in the range of 163 to 173. I mean, there's no other car that I've driven that that feels the same. It's truly like driving a Miata, but with the power to actually go anywhere. Not necessarily to work on my car, but I can diagnose any issue with it. Not horrible. I'd say maintenance cost hasn't been horrible. Most expensive things being brakes, clutch, and timing belt are the most expensive things on it, and those run a pretty penny. But for regular maintenance, like oil changes and just bare bone stuff, it's not necessarily Porsche prices. What got me interested was seeing how close knit everybody was. Um, I remember going to the first ever Skyline Invitational, and whereas most car shows just kind of break apart at the end, I remember going and cruising to get food with everybody afterwards and sitting at a table and seeing everyone and thinking that that was like nothing I'd experienced before. I'd say that so first event was the first Skyline Invitational at Countersteer. Yeah, I mean it was. I've still got stickers from that event. My favorite one so far, though, I think probably have to say the second Skyline Invitational with the cruise to Bucky's directly after. That was a truly unique experience. I would describe it as really being truly part of a team. Um, and my favorite thing about it is how to to quote Dominic Toretto, how much it feels like family. Um, because I know that I can rely on most anyone in the group. Hmm. Because I'd say my favorite part of it is that it really feels like something big. Like it really feels like the start to something that will. I mean, I feel like you'll see the name Speedgate at SEMA in a few years. Um, 69 GT500 Mustang, a 1970 Charger with 440, a 1977 911 Turbo, um, Porsche 918, BMW 750 IL, 2001 to be specific. Maybe just give it a shot. Come and hang out, talk to the people. Even if you don't know anything, I guarantee you that 95% of the people will be happy to educate you about anything you have questions about. Just don't do dumb stuff. It's the car that I could probably attribute to being the reason why I know the people I know today. Some of the best people that I've known in my life, my true ride or die people, probably Caleb's Bayside Blue R32. His That is the car that is single-handedly responsible for me meeting everybody that I know today.